Group D of Euro 2024, Austria 0, France 1. So, one of the best games of this match day 1 so far, in my opinion, especially towards the end there, with both teams really going at it. France trying to shut the door, Austria trying to claw their way back in, sensing an opportunity to grab something from this game. A few things. I was, not going to lie, I was skeptical of Conte coming back into the team, but he proved me wrong with this performance. He was a unit today, and I think that he did pretty well to silence many doubters. Being integrated back into this team, I think it was the right move by Deschamps. The best part of France's performance today, I think, was the defense. It held up pretty resolutely in the way that it limited Austria going forward. Austria producing 5 shots, total 3 on target, compared to 14 for France and 3 on target. And I think that France had moments when they won the ball back and they moved quickly down the stretch, trying to catch Austria off, where they looked very, very lethal. And there was that moment in the second half with Mbappe. He gets free of his marker. He's in a 1v1 situation. He puts it just wide of the left-hand post. Really should have made it 2-0. Could not believe that he missed that. I don't think he could believe it either. People can say the unfortunate own goal by Maximilian Wöber made France a little bit lucky there. But, I mean, Wöber was forced into that error because of the amount of pressure that France was putting on Austria in that moment, especially when Mbappe made that run to the touchline. And even though this was not France playing to their potential, I think a lot of the reaction to this game is going to be an overreaction, saying that it was a huge letdown in terms of the overall look of this French team. But I think they had a stronger match than what meets the eye, and certainly than what meets the scoreline. Because, like I said, the back line was pretty much always in control. And they created a lot going forward, especially through Hernandez. You know, Thuram and Dembele, they were playing like they were superstars in the team while having Mbappe 5 meters away. And, you know, even though I was impressed with Austria in this game, I think that the hallmark of a great team for France is being able to come away with victories like this while playing, for the most part, in a second gear kind of situation. Another positive for France was that despite losing Mbappe, they genuinely tried to keep pushing for that second goal. They're totally ready for the physical challenge that was presented by a less stacked team. The only thing lacking for me is a little bit of that clinical ability up front. But then again, Deschamps doesn't care about scoring tons of goals. He cares about winning, whether it's 1-0, 2-1, whatever. That's how he won the World Cup as a player and as a coach. There would be a couple of mercurial talents, but largely a lot of smart, hardworking players who disrupt the opposition, passing and playing direct football. And I think that, for the most part, that's what France did here. Mike Maignan, he made that critical save early on that could have given Austria the lead, but he wasn't really tested that much in this game, and that's a testament to how sturdy France's defense was. Obviously, like I said, they need to be a bit more lethal in front of goal. I did find France to be a little bit hesitant in the final third at times. Oftentimes a good run would open up and then, close down before a player was done challenging a defender. But you also have to give a lot of credit to Austria in this game. The fact of the matter is that Austria was pretty well drilled, and they were exploring and they were brave in transition, really taking the game to France. Sometimes Ragnick, he's known for the gegenpressing. And even though Austria would have liked to have created more, I think their pressing in this match was one of the best of the competition so far. There were times when Austria outmatched France in terms of intensity and their proactiveness on the ball. As far as Mbappe's yellow is concerned, I mean, look, prior to that really nasty nose injury, it might be broken. He may have to wear a mask the rest of the tournament. A broken nose can really mess you up when you're on the pitch, especially in terms of like breathing, in terms of like the swollenness, just the injury itself. And it looked bad. He had blood all over his shirt. Nasty collision when jumping for a ball inside the Austrian box. But for his yellow card, he got pretty criticized for the antics he had on the pitch today. But you can look at it also in a way where it's sort of smart what he did there, because the ref was missing the substitution at that moment when the ball went out, and France was playing with 10 men in a crucial moment. Mbappe did pretty much the only thing he could still do at that moment by, buying some time and expense of a yellow. I mean, for God's sakes, the man was bleeding all over his shirt, and he still contributed. That's the kind of behavior you expect from your captain. You can say that's kind of like a lowly Luis Suarez kind of dick move to make, but I mean, this is tournament football we're talking about here. France were at a disadvantage in that moment. And it is the type of spontaneous decision that a captain would make on the pitch in the heat of the moment, not really having time to discuss with anyone. He was still some meters away from the bench. Attackers usually don't get booked that often. Secondly, it sure looked like and probably felt like a broken nose, which would probably have led Mbappe to missing the next few games. But, we'll see. I don't think he will. He's playing this Euros with a real chip on his shoulder. He's going to feel more pressure on himself after missing that chance that should have put France 2-0 up. But him doing what he did to get carded, he could have easily gotten a red, but I actually don't blame him for doing that in that moment. I mean, it's somewhat dirty, but it's tactical. So, France got the win. The Netherlands game is going to be very interesting, because Netherlands were also somewhat unconvincing in their match against Poland. Austria, they should be proud, because this is a team that can go really far and play that role of dark horse. They pretty much matched the best team in Europe today.